All right, so Mikey Fu is live on YouTube. All right, cool. I'm live, chilling. All right, so it's early in the morning here. You know what time it is. It's late at night, early in the morning. Whatever time it is for you, much love for coming in and watching and whatnot. If you're watching now or in the future, much love to you, beautiful peoples. But we have a story to go over, as usual, right? So, the name of this story is The Last Light of Dawn. All right, so we'll be getting in the story 1 minute. Let me find something real quick. Give me 1 second here. All right, so yeah, we'll be starting the story in 1 minute. Give me a second and getting everything set up. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we're going over my story, The Last Light of Dawn. All right, so let's get it started, right? And it begins. Chapter 1. The world fell silent. Years ago, a strange sickness spread across the world. People fell, then they rose again as mindless zombies. Hungry for flesh, cities turned to ruins. Roads became dead paths, and the sky grew dark with ash. Survivors built walls of metal and wood, learned to shoot guns, and even tried magic spells to push the dead back. Nothing worked. The zombies grew stronger, their numbers endless. Hope faded like a dying fire. In the broken city of New Haven, a few hundred people lived in underground bunker. They grew food in the hidden gardens, read old books, and told stories of the world before. Their leader, Commander Mikey, shouted every day, "We will win, we will survive." Two, a man named Dragon. Among the survivors was a young man named Dragon. Dragon was tall with dark hair and eyes that always searched for something. Dragon had lost his family the first night the dead rose. He spent his days fixing broken generators and his nights watching the sky, hoping for a miracle. One night, while the moon was a thin smile, Dragon walked to the roof of the bunker. He saw something strange, a bright light shining from the broken tower of an old church far across the dead city. The light pulsed like a heartbeat. Dragon felt a strange pull. He took his old rifle, a rusted sword, and a small bag of food and slipped out the bunker. Chapter 3, The Fallen Angel. Dragon walked for hours, stepping over broken cars and cracked sidewalks. The zombies moaned, reaching out with rotting hands, but Dragon moved fast, his heart beating with a new purpose. When he reached the church, the light grew brighter. A voice like thunder and wind said, "Turn around, child of earth." Dragon turned and saw two figures standing on a broken steps. Their wings were huge, shining with silver and gold. One wore white armor with a sword, the other wore green armor with a flaming sword. "I am Michael, the Archangel," said the one in white. "I am Jophiel, the Archangel," said the one in green. Dragon fell to his knees, shaking. "Are you real?" he whispered. Michael lifted his sword. "We have been watching. The world is dying. We can help, but you must be the one to carry our light." Chapter 4, The Gift of Light. Jophiel stepped forward. Her wings brushed the dust, turning it into sparkling snow. She placed a hand on Dragon's forehead. Instantly, a warm glow filled his chest. He felt strength, hope, and a song of ancient power humming inside him. "You will become the beacon," Michael said. "Your heart will shine and the dead will fall, but you cannot do it alone. We will fight beside you." Dragon stood, his eyes glowing with a soft gold. He felt a fire burning in his hand. The angels gave him 3 gifts: a sword of light that cuts through any darkness, a shield of dawn that protects the living from zombie bites, a trumpet of resurrection that calls the dead back to dust for a short time. Chapter 5, The Battle Begins. Dragon rode on Michael's winged horse, Storm Rider, across the sky. Jophiel flew beside them, her green wings painting rainbows through the clouds below. The zombies roared like a storm. They reached New Haven. The wall was broken, zombies pouring in like a black tide. People screamed, children cried, and Commander Mikey stood on the wall, his gun clicking empty. Dragon jumped down. He raised the sword of light. The blade sang as it cut the air, and a wave of pure light shot forward, turning zombies to ash. The dead fell like dry leaves. Jophiel sang a song of beauty. Her voice rose above the moans, and flowers sprouted from the cracked ground, blooming in seconds. Their sweet scent confused the zombies, making them stagger. Michael swung his sword. Flame of justice and a wall of fire rose, pushing the horde back. The survivors cheered, their hearts beating again. Chapter 6. The Dark Lord Zedek. But the battle was not over. From the center of the city rose a massive zombie, taller than a building, with glowing red eyes. He was Zedek, the first of the plague, the dark lord of the dead. He had been feeding on fear for years, growing stronger. Zedek roared, shaking the earth. The ground cracked, and from the cracks poured endless streams of zombies. Dragon felt fear crawl up his spine, but he remembered the light inside him. He lifted the shield of dawn, and a bright bubble formed around New Haven, protecting the people. Sound the trumpet, Michael shouted. Dragon blew the trumpet of resurrection. A thunderous note rang out. A wave of white light swept over the zombies. For a moment, the dead fell to the ground, their bodies turning to dust. Zedek howled in pain. He tried to crawl forward, but the light burned his skin. Chapter 7. The Final Fight. Michael and Jophiel stood side by side. Their swords flashed, cutting through the darkness. Dragon ran forward. Hold on. Dragon ran forward, his sword glowing brighter than the sun. He struck Zedek's chest. The Dark Lord exploded, sending a shockwave that knocked everyone down. When the dust settled, the sky turned pink, and a gentle rain began to fall. The zombies stopped moving. Their bodies crumbled into dust, carried away by the wind. The plague was over. Chapter 8. A New World. Days turned into weeks. New Haven was rebuilt, stronger than before. The survivors planted trees and flowers grew everywhere. Children played in the streets laughing. Dragon became the new leader, not with a crown, but with love. He taught everyone to share, to protect, and to keep the light alive. Michael and Jophiel stayed a while, watching the world heal. One sunrise, they spread their wings and rose into the sky. Remember, Michael said, the world is yours now. Keep the light burning. Jophiel smiled and remembered. And remember, beauty, for it is the strongest weapon. And chapter number 9, The Endless Song. At night, Dragon would walk the hills overlooking the valley. He would look at the stars and whisper, "Thank you." The wind would answer with a soft song, the song of angels, reminding everyone that hope never dies. And so, the world lived again, filled with light, love, and the memory of the day the archangels came down to save humanity. The last light of dawn had become a new beginning for all. And the end. All right, everybody. Yep. Mikey Fu, Mikey with a 3, not an E. And that was my story, The Last Light of Dawn. If you like my stories and my poems and stuff, definitely check out my playlist. I have a playlist with over like 130 something poems and stories. So plenty of stuff to get lost in. I was listening to some of my stories earlier and I'm like, man, Sometimes you don't realize how good they are until you go back and listen to them. You're like, man, because I get caught up in so much stuff. I've written so many stories and poems now, and then I'm creating my own style of kung fu. Then I train my five ancestors fist on here and do my drawing stuff and my art stuff. So Mikey Fu definitely keeps himself pretty busy, right? Anyways, I hope everybody has an awesome day or night, whatever time it is for you guys. If anybody sees this in the future, if anybody's watching now, much love to you, beautiful peoples. Remember, anything is possible. Anything's possible. But make sure to use that energy for good, right? Much love, beautiful peoples. Mikey Fu signing out. Over and out.